This is such an outrageous operation. How could such a large pipe wrench be twisted off like this? However, even when it's damaged to this extent, the traditional repair expert known as Uncle Glasses in Pakistan can still restore it. In fact, they say that after the repair, it's even more durable than when it was new. How does Uncle Glasses manage to do this? To fix this oversized pipe wrench, Uncle Glasses used a method known as grafting and splicing. First, he carefully measured the discarded steel rod and marked it clearly using a marker. Then, in order to shape the steel rod appropriately, he had to use a high-powered lathe to cut it. Since he needed to flatten both ends, he secured the steel rod vertically and began carefully trimming the head with a lathe knife. During the cutting process, Uncle controlled the lathe speed to be quite low, preventing the steel rod from falling or any other mishap from occurring. After 25 minutes of precise cutting, the rod's shape was finally completed. Because the upper jaw of the pipe wrench needed to match the bottom jaw, Uncle used the marker again to ensure the spacing would be correct when machining the teeth. Since Uncle's repair shop didn't have a high-end gear cutting machine, he cleverly fixed the steel rod onto the lathe and then used a custom-made support. This allowed him to shape the teeth with the standard lathe. While securing the cylinder, he measured carefully with a level, and once everything was in order, he welded the parts together for stabilization. After securing the steel rod with welding, he meticulously cut the teeth using a tool knife. Uncle Glass's idea was truly ingenious. His approach shows that when your mind stays sharp, solutions outnumber the problems. By skillfully utilizing the equipment he had, he was able to finish machining the teeth quickly. Afterward, he used an angle grinder to cut the steel rod off the support and polish the welds. The tooth spacing turned out to be perfect. To attach the steel rod to the pipe wrench, Uncle made punch marks on the head and measured the wrench's width with a template to avoid any size deviations when cutting. Next, he drilled a positioning hole and then used a hacksaw to cut the head's center. This part was relatively simple. After a series of precise operations, the central section was swiftly processed. Because the section cut with the hacksaw was uneven, Uncle polished it with an angle grinder. During assembly, he used a right-angle ruler to check the alignment. After confirming that the angles were correct, he performed a detailed welding job to fix everything in place. Since this part needed to withstand high torque, Uncle took extra care during the welding process. After spending over 10 minutes completing the weld, he drilled another hole for a rivet to ensure the overall sturdiness. After preheating the rivet with a blowtorch, Uncle gently tapped it into place using a small hammer, securing the head of the pipe wrench. Because the wrench is often used in harsh conditions, Uncle Glasses needed to improve the durability of the teeth. To do so, he hardened them by heating the teeth with a blowtorch and then quenching them in a basin of salt water, increasing their strength and toughness. To ensure the hardness was up to standard, Uncle tested the wrench with a steel pipe. After a series of successful tests, the oversized pipe wrench was finally repaired. Now, how much do you think such a meticulous repair job would cost in rupees?